So today's project, we are going to unbox and set up the Eufy. This is their 2C pack with a base station and 2 security cameras. We've got the Eufy that we installed on the front door for the doorbell just recently, and I've been happy with the Eufy brand. We actually have Eufy cameras at another location that are a good 12 hours away, and we get instant notifications. You can always keep an eye on the property. It works great. No problems at all, no monthly fees. Everything's just over the internet through the base station. So I'm really happy with that. I tried another camera here that was cheaper. It was the Ryko or something like that. I was not happy with it at all. Ended up returning it and just spending the extra $100 on getting this system. I only have 2 cameras that we really need outside because the doorbell camera is covering the one door. So this should be sufficient, but we can add cameras later on if we need to. Okay, there we go. Opening it up. Standard packaging that you'd expect from pretty much any product anymore. Have a little packet to pull off the top. It's got a key for opening things. I imagine we're resetting the base station or something along those lines. We've got our stickers for home security, templates for mounting the cameras, startup guide, and here is the base station. It's a little bit smaller than the other one that we already purchased. Ethernet ports in the back, power port, USB port, USB ports for charging the cameras. Here are the 2 cameras that come with it. And this is going to be the accessory kit. The rest of it's just packing. Looks like mounting points for the cameras, power supply. And this is the cheaper Eufy kit. And you can see that it's a little bit less rugged than what we had before. But it should still do the job. This appears to mount directly to the whatever wall surface. Screw that on, and then this goes in, and then screw that in place. And then the camera will screw onto that. So this is the cheaper one, but hopefully it'll perform as well as the other one we bought before. This is the 2C, and we just need to find some places to mount it outside. I have some ideas of where these are going to go. These are supposedly weatherproof. They appear to charge through the bottom. This would be the charging cable. So we'll get the base station plugged in, get it plugged into the network, and get these charging, and then we'll finish the setup. And they will charge right off the back on the USB port of the base station. Okay, we've got the home base plugged into Ethernet and power, and one of the cameras charging. And once this boots up and turns blue, then you can open up your Eufy software, and we can choose menus, my devices, add a device. This is a home base 2. And next, next, next. And now we just need to scan the QR code on the bottom.
Home base receives a pairing request. Press the sync button on the back to accept it.
And it's blinking red there.
Home base was added successfully.
There we go. That lets this know that that is the right thing. And then we'll give it a name. And we're going to just call it home for now. Continue. Next. Latest firmware. We can update the firmware. This should go pretty quick. Starting. Next. And we're not adding any more devices, so we'll hit finish. And now we can add the cameras, and they also have a barcode on them. So we're going to add device, add, and this is going to be Eufy Cam 2C. We're going to attach it to the home. It needs to be within 1 meter.
Press the sync button until you hear the beep.
Sync button is on the top.
Ready to add device. Device was added successfully.
We're going to make this one the garage. Camera will initialize. Next. And we're going to go for optimal battery life. That way I don't have to take it down much. And it's going to be recommended charging off the base station. Showing you how to mount it, which I already figured out. Turn my audio down there so when I have an echo, you can already picked up my camera. Finish. And we are good to go. If you go into the settings there, it'll show you the current percentage charge, and we're currently at 78%. So I am going to pause the video, get this charged up, and then we can worry about mounting it. And mounting's pretty simple. Just screw the little base plate onto any surface you've got. Use that little center spacer there and put that into the little slots. And this is me trying to do it all with one hand because I've got the other hand holding the camera. And get that little center slot in there and then screw the plate down. Once the plate is screwed down, that's going to tighten that junction between the ball joint and that little center cap. And then you can swivel it however you need to. So we'll screw that in place, and then you can move the camera around. Best to look at the app and see where the camera's pointing, and then adjust it that way, and it will be where you need it. And to finish up, we'll go over the motion detection. So if you click on the gear and then click on motion detection, that will bring you into the motion detection menu where you can actually change and set up your activity zones. So here I've got an activity zone set up on the front door, so it only records motion when it sees something in that zone, which means anybody walking up the sidewalk is going to trip the camera. Anybody going down the road, however, will not trip the camera. That prevents a lot of false positives for us and always tripping the camera whenever anybody drives by the house. On the other camera, the 2C camera, there's different menus. So that was the front door, which was the doorbell cam. On the 2C, you actually have the ability to do human detection, and you have more motion detection things where you can do a motion test mode. So you can stand out there in front of the camera and change the sensitivity and see how well it's going to detect you as you're moving around, which is also a nice feature. And then you also have a privacy setting for privacy zones. So if I go in here and I set a privacy zone, I can click add, and I can create a privacy zone. So perhaps I don't want to always see my neighbor's house, or give that neighbor privacy, like he doesn't want me pointing my camera at his house. Then we can set up a little privacy zone where it doesn't record in that specific spot. Then one last thing I'll point out here is the RTSP setting on the camera for the 2Cs, which is actually recording to a NAS. You can set it up to do a real-time streaming protocol, and effectively what that is going to do is make it a full-time recording camera. So you can stream to a NAS, which is going to have a lot more space. Set up a static IP on your NAS, static IP on the device, and then that camera will constantly stream to your network attached storage, and you'll have that as a full live feed. If you're going to do that, I would definitely recommend setting up a power supply directly connected to the camera, because the batteries will chew up in a hurry if they're always recording. In my case, I just set it for motion, and very, very rarely does something get past it without tripping it. But other than that, it seems to work very well. And my final thoughts on the Eufy Cam. I've been using this for several years now. I've been very, very happy. with performance, with the notifications, with the recording, and they seem to work extremely well. These are the 3 cameras I've got active right now. The other ones I've turned on at the moment. But you can see that you can get motion alerts all the time. This is a couple of days back. This is April right now when I'm recording this, and I can go all the way back through until January, and I still have footage recorded that I can go back and reference to. So I can tap on a date in January and then see some footage that was recorded all that time ago. Very pleased, very happy. I highly recommend the Eufy